Just one quick second here, everybody. All right. You know how it goes. Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, AKA man of the people, because I love working for fans out there. So if ever you have a question about this team, I'm your go-to guy in the media to go in that locker room and get those questions answered for you. Today, we're obviously going to talk about the biggest news in recent memory, other than Cam Newton probably leaving. I'm not going to try to recite all the biggest news for the Carolina Panthers, but certainly Christian McCaffrey being traded to the San Francisco 49ers is huge news, especially on a Friday. It's like the 12th hour, literally, getting things done where players can play on their team for the upcoming week. So we're going to go through talking about that. Scott Fitterer talked to the media today. He had a lot of interesting things to say, in my opinion, that I'm going to share with you. Steve Wilks also spoke with the media. But I'm going to first go ahead and go over this injury report. As I do, I forgot to get my water. You guys know my voice kind of gets scrappy sometimes, so I am going to run and get my water. But give me, let's see, I don't have anything to talk over, so I'm just going to talk to you for a second while I go and get my water. And then we're going to go over this Carolina Panthers injury report. And I'm happy to report that on this injury report, is not as big of an injury report as it's been all week. So some of our guys got healthier and things look even better for this Sunday. And yes, I have a wireless mic, so when I walk away like I did, I'm still able to be here. So here we go. Let's go over this current injury report for the Carolina Panthers. We got cornerback C.J. Henderson, concussion protocol. He is questionable. We got cornerback Dante Jackson with the ankle. He was a full participant in practice, but he's questionable. C.J. Henderson was also a full participant in practice. Had to take a drink of water there. Quarterback Baker Mayfield, ankle, limited in practice. He is doubtful. And by the way, I see the comments coming in. Please continue to leave the comments. My shows are live because they're interactive. So rest assured that every comment that I can get to, I will get to as many as I can, all right? So continue to leave those comments while I go over this injury report. We got safety Sean Chandler dealing with a hamstring. He was limited in practice today. He is questionable. Cornerback J.C. Horn dealing with some ribs. He was a full participant in practice, so he is questionable. You got linebacker Frankie Louvu dealing with a shoulder. He was a full participant in practice, listed as questionable. Wide receiver Laviska Shenault Jr., hamstring, full participant in practice, questionable. Center Pat Eflin with a hip, he did not practice. So to me, guys that did not practice, that are questionable, more on the questionable to doubtful range than questionable to likely or probable range. Let's get offensive tackle Taylor Moton dealing with a knee. He did not practice today. He was questionable. Now I will say that Matt Rule, wow. Coach Steve Wilks indicated that he wanted to give him an extra day off just to make sure that there was no problems for Sunday. So you can count on Taylor Moton being ready to go this Sunday. And then also you saw there on the screen, Derek Brown. He had a personal day, so there's no status for him in this game because he will be playing this Sunday versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. Man, I almost feel like the news today, you kind of forget to talk about the Tampa Bay Bucks and Tom Brady and the 3-3 and how technically we're still not that far to the picture, but I admit I'm not going to be a homer. We have a lot of roster changes and things that have changed, which though the records could say technically we are pretty close in it, we've got a lot of stuff going on. All right? So that is all the injury updates, your final injury report before the Carolina Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday. Got to tell you, hit that subscribe button if you have not done so. We're growing good. It's helpful. Players are going to be coming on the show because of it. Let's go for 5,500. That's our next goal, 5,500 subscribers. If you're watching for the first time and you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It helps me to have players on this show for you guys to interact with and being able to access those guys. It's really helpful for me when you do that. And also hit the like button if you haven't done so now. That also helps other Panther fans find out about the show. So I see a lot of comments coming in here, and we're going to get through them. Yeah, lots of good comments. I now know how to put them on the screen, so don't worry about that. I will shout you guys out pretty shortly here. So my man, Scott Fitterer, he addressed the media today, and I personally really appreciate Fitterer because to me, once things happen and he comes up there and talks to the media, he's pretty transparent. It gives you a really good idea of what's going on with this team, the direction that they're going in. And I wish that we could talk to Fitterer more often because, again, I really like the information that he gives to us. So I'm just going to start with the opening statement that Fitterer had, which I think is, instead of me regurgitating, I'm going to chop everything up because there's about 40 minutes worth of coaches talking with media today. Not going to make you sit through that. That's a benefit of the channel. So I'm going to start with the opening statement that Fitterer had today and share that with you all right?
So it's been a busy, really last 48 hours when this all, picked up. Just to give you some background, the first call that we received with an offer was last Friday, and it was, not something that we would consider. Went through the game, went through the weekend, and then really picked up Tuesday, like Tuesday mornings when teams got involved, started calling. And that's when we discussed internally as a group, would we do this? If we do it, what's acceptable? And we kind of put a value on it. And then at that point, we worked through it. We talked to the teams. A couple of teams didn't have first-round picks, that we thought, in that area was probably the right area for Christian with regarding everything. So it complicated it that there wasn't a first-round pick to be had. So we had to figure out what's the equivalent of a first-round pick if that's the case. A couple of teams did have a first-round pick. They never got there. It was never an option for them. So it was going to be a combination of something. What that was very fluid. That was really the talk over the last 48 hours. So with that, we got to a point where two teams were pretty serious, went back and forth with them, and then it just got to a point where we thought this is what was best for the organization moving forward, that this is the right move. It's a tough move because when you have someone of Christian's stature in the community, the type of player he is, the type of person he is, it's really tough to move on from him.
Let's see. All right, so there you see Scott Fitterer in a very detailed way, and I appreciate that, talking about how we got to the point where now Christian McCaffrey is now a San Francisco 49er. Again, I like how transparent this guy is. And by the way, so he was talking about teams. There were two teams that he was dealing with. Obviously, one of those teams would be the San Francisco 49ers, who were able to secure the trade and get Christian McCaffrey. Now, so much reporting out there reports out there say that it's likely Christian is to play this Sunday. And I think a lot of us are fans of Christian McCaffrey and his dynamic talent. He was not any way, shape, or form, as Fitterer talked about, a bad person. So you kind of cheered him on with going to a new team and hope for his success. So we'll see him. I hope that he does well out there with the San Francisco 49ers. Now, what did we give up in order to, what did San Francisco give up in order to get Christian McCaffrey? Did not get the first round draft pick that we were seeking. That's what we really wanted. We really wanted that first round draft pick. But I feel like Scott Fitterer, and by his explanation on why he did this, it makes sense to me, and I appreciate it. Couldn't get the first round pick, but we got a bunch of picks to kind of equal that first round pick. And one of the things that he talked about, and I like, when you get that first round pick, you get one big swing at it, which could be good in the case of getting a quarterback, trading up to get that quarterback, which is that obvious missing piece on the offensive side. But also, it gives you a chance to maybe take more swings at it. So let me tell you what they got. Let me back up and tell you what they got. No first round pick, but they got a second round pick, a third round pick, and a fourth round pick. So that's 3 picks that they picked up for next year, second, third, and fourth, and next year, 2023. They also picked up a fourth round pick. They picked up a fifth round pick in 2024. So 3 picks this year, upcoming. 1 pick the next year. So a total of 4 picks that they got for Christian McCaffrey. Now, what you also get with doing that is you also get the ability to say, well, maybe you're looking at the draft, maybe things get closer, maybe you are really, really high on a player and you need to reach, you need to move up. Well, you got some assets to kind of dangle at somebody. You got 4 draft picks, you have some assets on your team. You can still use all the picks that you got from San Francisco and help you trade up into that first round to get a player that you're wanting to or needing to get. Got my water with me. All right, so what else? Was there urgency to get this deal done? I have said, man, I hope we trade Christian McCaffrey, and I want us to do it sooner rather than later. And I want us to do it because you don't know when Christian McCaffrey will get hurt again. But it certainly seems like it's a fair possibility. So let's do it while the block is hot, while he's doing well, while he's getting all these reps, and maybe his stock goes up a little bit because it felt like with more time, he's going to get older, something's going to be nagging him, and it's going to go down. I mean, they didn't get the first round pick that they wanted. So, yeah, there was a sense of urgency. Well, he didn't say urgency, but he said what a factor was in the timing of everything. Didn't want to keep having Christian out there. And, yeah, you know, it's really just the life of the NFL. You can get hurt in practice, you can get hurt in a game. So let's get this done. Let's get you Christian McCaffrey so you can start to rebuild your season. Let's get this distraction out of my organization and get us some assets and continue to build for the future. So did Christian McCaffrey know about this deal that was coming up? You know, did he know he was on the brink of getting traded? Certainly there were rumors out there, and certainly when, you know, I just like to give behind the scenes in-depth information. So in the locker room on Wednesday, locker room on Wednesday, Christian spoke with the media. And to me, his body language was like, you know, what can you do? It was like, it seemed a little different than the normal Christian McCaffrey as he talked about the trade rumors. Yesterday in the locker room, Christian usually, I won't say he doesn't talk to people, but when a player of his caliber talks to the media, they go to the podium. Typically on the other days, you're not seeing him talk much. But Christian McCaffrey, he talked with the media a little bit. And I remember one reporter saying like he appreciated the time that Christian gave because you don't know when he's going to get to talk to him again. And then the next day he's gone. So, man, some of that stuff, again, I just like to go to be a real reporter. It's kind of weird. Like just yesterday, I saw Christian McCaffrey at his locker and he was doing something and talking to reporters. And today, if he's not already there, he's halfway to San Francisco. But nevertheless, I digress as I like to share the job and the details of behind the scenes. Did Christian McCaffrey know that he was going to get traded? Well, Scott Fitterer addressed that question today.
I did talk to Christian on Monday, you know, after the team meeting, pulled him in, just gave him a quick update because there's more rumors, especially about a lot of our guys for some reason, but there were more rumors out there. And there was nothing really on the table. There was the one offer. It was one that we didn't consider at the time. I told him that. I told him where it stood. I said, you're hearing a lot of noise. Here's what's real. Here's what's not real. And we just had a very honest, you know, 5-7 minute conversation. And then after that, it picked up, like I said, on Tuesday. That's when other teams got involved. And talked to his agent more than him during this time because he was locked in on Tampa.
All right, so there you have it. You know, Fitterer earlier talked about things started last weekend, things picked up on Tuesday, which kind of explains why on Wednesday and Christian talking to the media, in my opinion, you saw a different disposition, body language from him as he talked about the possibility of being traded. And he's now a San Francisco 49er. So a few more things from the media availability with Scott Fitterer today. Was Christian a prima donna in this case? Did he say, hey, trade me here or trade me there? Nope. They did not give him any kind of list of teams that he would like to play on. So that's it right now for the Christian McCaffrey talk. Scott was able to talk about some other matters. This was our first time talking to him since the firing of Matt Rule. He did say that he expects to have somewhat of a role in the coaching decision going forward. And also, No clarity has been given to Scott Fitterer on his future with this team, but he doesn't need to have that. His mission every day is to make this organization better, doing something to make this organization better, not just today, but for the long term, and that's what he's trying to do. Christian McCaffrey, I'm sorry, not Christian McCaffrey. Steve Wilks also talked to the media today. He said that given what's happened recently with Christian McCaffrey trade, he felt like guys were in good spirits in practice, and the energy of practice today was really good. And someone asked him about tanking, and I appreciate that question. Wilk said, for me, and he touched his chest, like, for me, there's no such thing as tanking. And I said it before, and I'm starting to hear it being talked about more. Steve Wilks is the last guy on the planet, certainly in the NFL, that is going to tank. And David Tepper would have to be, and I don't know what smoking what, to even try to convince Steve Wilks to tank. And the reason is what I've mentioned. He has a lawsuit out in the NFL about diversity, hiring, and the practices. So that's just, in short, the wrong guy to ask about tanking. That's not what he's doing. He's trying to coach his team, get the most that he can out of his guys. And his message to his team, we have the ability to write our own narrative. Let's do it. Let's create our own narrative. And for the other guys, for the guys that are here, there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity for you to do better. There's an opportunity for you to improve if you're on the practice squad, get to the 53-man roster. It's just an opportunity for them to write their narrative and still continue to play for winning each and every Sunday. And by the way, I forgot to say earlier, Christian McCaffrey, he did talk with Fitterer and Wilks, and they mentioned that the fact that Christian did want to address the team before he left, but he wasn't able to do that because he had to catch a really early flight out this morning to go to San Francisco. So that's my spiel. Let's see what you guys have to talk about. This show's getting interactive for a reason. I want your comments. All right, it's time to go ahead and go over these comments here. Let's see. Welcome back, Ali Bodrick. Appreciate you. I wonder how Christian feels about going to San Francisco. I would imagine that he's excited. Number one, he's with a team that knows what they're trying to do right now. They don't have a question mark on the coach. They don't have a question mark on all these other players and what's going to happen. They're trying to win now. They've been to the Super Bowl. Well, I was about to say they've been to the Super Bowl recently. They have, but it's a team that has potential. And he's from the West Coast. He went to school not far from San Francisco. So I'm pretty sure that he's looking forward to the opportunity to be on a competing team. What's up, Josh? Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, and as Josh alluded to here, CMC went to Stanford, 35 miles from San Francisco, so he's probably happy to be there. Tizzy, Chris, I'm going to need you to ask questions like this from now on. Chris Jenkins, a.k.a. Man of the People. When you ask your questions and presses from now on, man, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna think about that, Tizzy. I don't know if I will, but I like where you're going with that. Matt knows nothing. What's up? Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for saying what's up. Shakid Bartal. I'm not going to lie. I'm extremely mad at this organization. To say it politely, fire Tepper. All right, Shakid, why are you mad, man? Why are you mad at Tepper? You didn't want us to get more draft assets? You want us to keep Christian McCaffrey? Scott Fitterer did say that he's still trying to get us a quarterback. He's saying that he knows that we need it. He knows that the quarterback play isn't good enough. That's me, putting more into the words that he said. But we know Baker's not the answer. We know Sam's not the answer. We know P.J. Walker's not the answer. We don't know about Matt Corral, but he didn't even get the 1 year of experience under his belt by getting reps because he's on, he's injured. Jacob Eason is just a guy that we got because we need more quarterbacks. If we didn't have Jacob Eason, who would have been quarterbacking a couple weeks ago, or last week it was actually, when PJ went out. So I'm interested to hear about why you're upset. What's up, Shelly Long? Appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. 4 more says everybody. Not sure what you mean by that. Josh, you were mad at first. Now you have to be okay with it. I mean, I guess you could be mad because you're a fan of Christian McCaffrey. There we go. You were mad at first, but now you're okay with it. That's good that you're okay with it now. Oh, I think I was going to say that I can understand being mad if you're a fan of Christian McCaffrey. He has certainly been, since Cam left, undoubtedly our most dynamic, outstanding playmaker on this team. He is exciting to watch. He can do so much that not everybody thought that he could do, and it's great. So it's from that perspective, I can understand saying, well, man, dang, I'm a little sad that Christian McCaffrey is no longer with the team. I get it. Let's continue to work through some of these comments here. Will the Panthers let us trade away Christian McCaffrey jerseys for current players? So I haven't heard anything on that. I do know, I think it's American Express, a certain banks that I think it might be American Express that you buy a jersey with their card, the player leaves, or the NFL maybe does it. I don't know if the team has to do that, but there's other programs out there that have in the past let you get a new jersey should the player leave. I forget all the conditions of it. Super annoyed by the move, but at the same time, it is what it is. All right, Tizzy and Shaquid and Josh. Okay, some feelings that I did not expect to hear, but I appreciate sharing. As my man Andre says, my co-host, we're here for you. We're your online. I keep looking at. So let me explain real quick what just happened. So the camera angle has changed because my main camera right here died. So I went to my backup camera, which is right here. So sometimes when you see me go to talk and I'm here, it's because I was still thinking about the other camera, but I'm going to stay here now. Going to stay here now. Super annoyed by the move, but at the same time, it is what it is. All right, Shelly Long, what you say? How does trading work? If you find out you're traded, do they have the plane ticket ready for your flight and pack your house up for you? So let me piece it together. When you get traded, it just depends all on who you are. There I go, looking at the wrong camera again. Jeez. So when you're traded, it all depends on who you are. The higher the profile, the more the red carpet's rolled out to get you there ASAP. The lower down you are, it's a possibility that you may be in your car driving to your new team. Case in point, man, I can't think of specific players, but sometimes they send a private jet out for you. They send a private jet, come get you, bring you to the team, bada boom, bada bang. Other times, you just might get the first class flight. Hey, here's your ticket. Chris, get on the plane. We'll see you. We'll pick you up at the airport. Other times, like the current player on our team, LaVisca Chenault Jr., he got in his car, his electric car, with his mom, and he drove from Florida to Charlotte to get here as soon as possible. So it just varies. And in terms of packing up, these guys, they get paid a decent salary, so they're on their own for the moving because they don't have to move his house, right? So what they do provide is players have the option of staying at the team hotel at no cost, or they can get their own living. So Christian McCaffrey right now probably is going to stay in the team hotel for a couple of days. Then he might buy himself a condo or something out there, a little bit more to his needs. And I won't say because he's bougie so much, it's because this guy does a lot of treatment, has a lot of stuff in his home that he uses to take care of himself. So I'm going to assume he's going to want bigger room than his hotel to get things settled down there. But great question, Shelly. Hopefully my response was informative to you. What's up, Chris Johnson? Appreciate you. Chris, if you're going to use dual screens, you have to mute your speakers. Am I echoing right now? I don't think I'm echoing right now. Let me know if I should not be echoing right now. But anyway, appreciate you, 10 Tizzy. Just going through some more of these comments. Tim Estes, we basically traded CMC for Baker and Sam. No, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Tim Tizzy says we should have gotten 2 second-round picks and 3. Tim, you got a typo there. All right, here we go. Next comment. 2 twos, 2 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks, and a 4th. That's what he feels like we should have got. Josh, Brian Burns may be next. So Scott Fitterer wouldn't say who those players are that are off limits, but Brian Burns has come up, and Brian Burns is a younger guy. He's an edge rusher. It's a guy they need. They like the defense. So I wouldn't count on Brian Burns being the next guy to get traded. Scott really said that they've gotten calls about other guys, but at this point, they're for the most part really fixed and locked in on their current roster right now. Most of the trading has been done. Certainly, if something comes by that's extraordinary, they will listen. They're always going to listen and take that phone call to see what's out there. But right now, they have had calls about other players, but they've just declined. Let's see here. Just going through a few more of these comments. Josh said, it's clear to me they wanted to trade him because they took what they could instead of keeping him. Yeah, yeah, absolutely they wanted to trade him. David Dickerson, I don't know if you're a first timer, but I appreciate you tuning in. Actually, I think I'm going to start doing this for the first timers that join in and have a comment. I'm going to come up with a way for you to let me know so I can make sure I specifically greet you when you come onto the show. But David Dickerson, I'm not happy about the move. Doesn't matter what I feel. Why? Okay, so I really did not expect to hear people talking about not being happy with the move. So I'm curious, for those that are unhappy with the move, let me know. Is it just because you love Christian McCaffrey, which I understand that part of it, or is it that you feel like this team's making bad decisions for their future? Let me know. Gotta give this big old boom. Got a super chat from Chris Johnson for $10. Thanks for the recap. Hey, I always sincerely appreciate the super chats. They're needed. We are an independent media, which means I have no sponsors. I don't have Lowe's. I don't have Bank of America. I don't have anyone to write me a check each week to keep this company running. We're an independent media, which allows me to do a lot of interactive, fun stuff that you all want me to do and like. That's because we're independent media. I don't have to get approval from anybody to do so, but I also need your support in order to continue to run this channel, continue to travel to the games, and all the things that go on and being a media company. So anytime there's a super chat, I appreciate it, whether it's $1, whatever it is, whatever you can give, I appreciate it. And that's how I get the man to people. I directly work for you guys. So appreciate it very much, Mr. Chris Johnson. Let's see here. Tim Essex, we would have draft picks if we weren't wasting them on other teams' recycled players. We might have 1 or 2 more. We made some mistakes in the past for sure. Wow, Big Jordan, he said the young court is locked in. Would have been nice to have CMC with a new quarterback. So yeah, that would be, but what chances do we have to get that good quarterback? We didn't have any great chances. I mean, we could try to do something in free agency, but this team, this organization believes in building through the draft. So if you get a guy from free agency, you're going to pay out the wazoo to get him, and you got to wonder who's that going to be. Is Jackson going to be available from Baltimore? If so, are you going to win that sweepstakes? Is he going to want to come here? When you build through the draft, you have a chance to get a guy for his first 4 years under his rookie contract and still have money to get some people around him. And then when you have to pay him on the second contract, maybe you got some other guys here and you can afford to pay that guy because you've known like this is going to be the guy. So we're going to put more money here and then the rest of the money kind of goes where it is. So I don't know how much of a good position we would have been in and keeping Christian to be able to get moves to get somebody in here. And bottom line, a quarterback is much more important than a running back. He can influence a game. Christian was dynamic. Christian's probably one of the fewer guys that has such a strong pull that can influence a game almost as much as a quarterback, but he's not. David Dickerson says Eason could be really good. Yeah, I got to show this comment. Most versatile weapon in Panthers history. Donald Duck, what's going on, Donald Duck? Hey, I will tell you this, Donald Duck. Hopefully this will make you happy. This will make you at least hit the like button or tell a friend. Matt Corral has heard your name before. Donald, I hooked you up. I told him. Matt Corral, Donald Duck wants to see you. True story. This hurts, feels like a breakup. I wanted him to win a ring, but with us. Okay. Shelly Long with a thumbs up. We have about 10 more minutes before I gotta get out of here and go get the kids. But I appreciate everybody. Hey, we're trying to get to 5,500. No. We're trying to increase our subscribers, all right? Continue to support. All right, Essex says we did not receive enough compensation for Christian McCaffrey. I hear you, but what we got was a lot. We got a lot. It's not too common that you get as many draft picks for one player as we got today. And for those that may want more, I'm not telling you that you should not want more draft picks, but I'm going to tell you to consider this. Christian McCaffrey hasn't played a full season in several years. So you know when negotiations are going on, people are like, hey, Scott, Christian's good, but so far this season, this is the most he's played in 2 years. This guy doesn't stay healthy, so I can't give you everything as if this guy has shown that he's unbreakable, because he has been. But we do know when he is healthy, he's great. So to me, you kind of put your expectations in line with the fact that, yeah, okay, he does have a few kinks in his armor. All right, so here we go. David Dickerson said, it is my first time for your live stream. I've watched many rebroadcasts. David, I appreciate you. Hit that bell notification, man. That'll help you. I know you could be at work, but that'll help you in the future get on quicker. I love to interact with fans of the Carolina Panthers, so I really appreciate it. Our next live broadcast will be Sunday, doing our pregame show with my man, Andre Cassidy. Excited for the broadcast. We got some more new equipment because of your super chats and donations, so we're going to be looking better and better. And hopefully you can join us, all right? 10 Tizzy, first, long-time listener, first-time caller. No, you're not. No, you're not, 10 Tizzy. You've been here a lot. Appreciate you, Josh. Shelly Long, any word if Donald or Baker stays next season? No word on that at all. My guess would be no. I mean, I guess from a financial standpoint, either one of them would have to be willing to take, well, Sam would need to be willing to take a pay cut and admit that his life as a starter is over. And Baker would have to be doing the same thing. He's already taken a pay cut, but I don't see it. I wouldn't want it. 10 Tizzy with the super chat. What does he say here? Slide one man of the people in the practice, so it comes out smooth and they let it slide. You can run with it. If they don't, doesn't matter. It's worth it. I will say it to a player in the locker room when I'm trying to get him on the show, but you guys know probably that I'm a little bit of a quiet-spoken guy, so in a large room full of everybody, I don't want to draw all the attention to me with something like that, but I love the humor. I love it. Donald Duck, What? Yeah, no way. Thank you, Chris. I've been upset all day, but you told Golden Corral thing. I promise you, I'm not. I promise you, Golden Corral. I told him, he was sitting at his locker. I said, man, I do these live broadcasts, and this guy named Donald Duck, he asks about you all the time. So, yeah, glad I could make your day. That's what I'm here for. Shelly Long says, hit the like button if you haven't done so. It does help a brother out. Please hit that like button. So let me go ahead and tell you this. Players will be on the show Monday. I'm not going to say who yet because I'm going to double check. I like to dot my I's and cross my T's. Make sure there's not going to be any changes with their availability to come on the show on Monday. But I feel pretty good about it. So at the very latest, at the pregame show on Monday, I'll tell you what player will be on the show on Monday. Ferraris break down too. They still ain't discounting them. Hey, but if that Ferrari got in a major accident, more than 25% of its damage is discounted. All right, Christian hadn't just needed an oil change or a tire. He hadn't had a total loss, 75% body damage, but he, because he hadn't had any surgeries, major surgeries, but he's missed a lot of time, which means he's discounted. Appreciate you, Tim. I think next year, Josh says, I think next year we'll have Eason, Corral, and a new quarterback, in my opinion. That's not bad. Tim says, great stream. Tim, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I work hard at it, and I appreciate anytime you all have some comments, positive or negative, because I always want to get better, so I appreciate it. Chenault would be nice. I'm not sure what about. So that looks like all the comments for now. It's a good time for me to end anyway, as I have to go pick up the little ones, middle C and little C as we call them. But appreciate everybody very much. I appreciate the super chats very much. I hope you all noticed that I continue to try to, reinvent myself and continue to make this a fun channel, an interactive channel, an engaging channel, and make everybody feel like they have a friend in the media that they could talk to about the Carolina Panthers to get some information. All right, that's me. That's what I'm here for. Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe. I'll see you guys soon.